Scottie Pippen. What's the issue between him and Jordan?
I don't know. That's a $1 billion question. And I think that Scotty was a lot of people don't know Scotty. He came in, he was a little arrogant. He was a guy from Central Arkansas, guy who then, came through the rankings. A lot of people didn't really know about him. I give Jerry Krause a lot of credit for finding him, straw in the haystack, and it turned out to be one of the, top 50, greatest player ever played in the NBA. Scotty was just, he's a country guy, and he was, Scotty was tough. I remember one time he said, "I'm gonna be better than Mike," and I looked at him twice, but he had a good career. He could do it all, play all the position, he could run the show, great athlete, IQ for the game. Um, you know, he might not have got all the credit he deserved, but that NBA go, they got their certain guys they go marketing. Some guys think they should get marketing and don't get marketing. I think he did a lot for the organization in Chicago. The fans love him in Chicago. Um, I know the Last Dance. A lot of things came out of that. Um, he said a lot about Mike. I guess in his feeling, I think Scotty still feel like a lot of people didn't give his credit. I think Mike always gave him his credit, but uh, he got he had a certain feeling for himself. So you win 6 championships together, and I think that and all this other stuff come out afterwards. But if you look back in our era, back in the 80s and 90s, it was a lot of selfish ball players because guys didn't look out for other guys on their team. And I seen that a lot for myself. The main guy didn't do other stuff for some guys who didn't have a lot. The coach always riding somebody or picking on somebody, so my type, when I seen something happen, I didn't have to be the captain or this and that. I just try to make sure guys around me is right. That's maybe why I got traded from Chicago to New York, or whatever. I'm always the players first, because the players, you're going to be on the court with them, you're going to practice with them. And when you this and that, your players, always there with you. But management, when in Chicago said management win championship, players play basketball. It was a big issue with that in Chicago. So, it's sometimes just a lot of things happen. I don't think Scotty hate Mike. It just, he feel like he got some feelings that he probably should have been represented more, and maybe in the Last Dance and other things, you know. Like Horace. Horace played with Mike. Horace was the type of guy. Horace that probably didn't like Mike, because Mike got his way in all kind of ways. His security can travel. He can do this and that. Some guys can't handle that, and I think they can't handle it. He gets special treatment. It's gonna happen. Your best player always gonna get special treatment. So when your best player gets special treatment, he got to treat the other guys on the team. You know. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. Okay, you get everything. Don't deal with us. And back in the 80s and 90s, it was a lot of that. A lot of your best players were selfish. You know, because they know they're gonna get their 25 shots a night or this and that. Now you got everybody on the team shooting threes and this and the 12th man coming in shooting threes, 4 or 5 shots a game. Basically, everything was more offensive minded. You got to run a play. You got to do this. You got to do that. And some coaches, if you didn't run a play or do what they asked, they cut your minutes or something. So it was a mind game back in the days. And they played with a lot of guys on the team. Not everybody, but some guys. I didn't like that. I think everybody should have been treated with respect.
I saw an interview by Scottie Pippen where he was telling a story about how Suge, he was at a party and he was pushing everybody around, but when he got to you, he went around you like he didn't want no smoke. Do you recall that night?
Oh yeah. No, we was at the sauce at the VMA, I think, right in Miami. It was the after party. Suge traveling. He deep. It was just like we was at the place, me and Scott, and if you got, he was just, like he was like pushing people out of the way. Like this happened at a fight one time in Vegas because Puffy I guess he has a bodyguard, and they said, excuse me, someone's coming through. And I'm like, who's coming through? I said, okay, I'm trying to get to my seat too. So, but nah, it did happen. Then nothing happened. I just said, hey, no, man, whatever, this and that. It didn't get out of hand or nothing. I seen Shook, a couple of times before.
How was Suge? Was he really bullying people back then?
Oh, I wasn't around him like that. I might have been around him a couple of times. No, I wasn't around. I mean, anybody can be a bully with 10 guys. I mean, he played football. He was a good size, though. I mean, I guess he might could fight, but when you got 10, who knows if you can fight or not? Especially, I mean, and some people got security, like, I don't know. Some people need it, some people don't, but it's more of a show thing if you can afford it.
You was at the '95 Social Wars, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it was crazy. It was a lot of tension. That's what I think. I was with Bone Thug, presenting the award because they're from Cleveland. It was just like, wow. But they came and they was taking over. It was like, how you gonna let, I don't care if they had 2,000 people from LA. It's New York. They came and shit on New York. I mean, if you didn't like whoever it was, the beef or the steel, you got to ride with New York. You in New York. And when Snoop said that on stage, New York gonna love Snoop Dogg. I mean, if they love you or not, I mean, just get your water and go on to your seat. But it was a lot of tension in the air. A lot of tension in the air. I'm just glad that nothing break out because somebody would have got hurt that night inside of there because it would have been a ride.